गुड मॉर्निंग भाई साहब, वेलकम।
गुड मॉर्निंग जी, गुड मॉर्निंग।
तो इलेक्शन खत्म हो गया,
यस,
एंजाइटी खत्म हुई नहीं है।
anxiety is still there.
Eh,
President Trump has not yet conceded officially.
so by the time I think we will be doing our next webinar that is about the year-end tax planning and basically savings tips for businesses as well as individuals. Or hopefully by that time we would actually have a final answer.
Yes, and hopefully that's why we want to make it a flexible time and date. December,
Ye-
we know December, but date I think is all dependent upon when this thing is going to happen.
Yeah, so I think there might be some updates coming up. Now, let me start today's video by asking, I don't think we should expect any major tax plan changes at this point of the year, right?
No, we are not looking for any major changes in the tax rules. What we are looking for is a stimulus that might come up. If you recall, Mitch McConnell, the Republicans lead in the Senate, he said that he got elected, and he said he's expecting a bill, a COVID-19 relief bill by the end of this December. So, of everyone is looking for that the stimulus bill that will help the business owners, like second PPP loan, maybe more changes in the regulations relating to unemployment and other things. So we are looking for that one. It's not that we are not looking for it. Everybody's looking for the changes in respect to tax rules, and also the forgiveness, second one, and also the application for PPP loan forgiveness. So uh, we are expecting those things. So that's why it's not that it's the end of the road. It's not that when he comes over, when he becomes the president, Biden becomes president next by January 20th, then only things will move. We are expecting few things coming up before the end of this year.
So let me ask you this. Now, obviously, you probably have watched the news this morning, right? There is a potential vaccine that the manufacturers are claiming that it's about 90% effective. Is that Pfizer,
Pfizer.
right?
Okay.
So is that going to make a change? I mean, do you think that maybe perhaps we don't need as big of a stimulus package anymore as it was before?
No, no, we definitely need a stimulus package. We definitely need. Why? Because you see on the retail sales front, people are not able to sustain their businesses, their sales. They're not able to sustain their employees because they run out of money, PPP money. And for individual filers, individual people who are bent upon unemployment, of course, unemployment rate has come down to 6.9% as per the latest payroll report. But still, there's a big lot of people unemployed, and they are waiting for this unemployment check from federal, which lasted like a few months back, like $300 per week. Now they have run out of money, so they are looking for unemployment checks. So definitely, the vaccine news can increase the market. Market is like going up like crazy, but again, it's not helping the common man on the street.
So you still expect that there are going to be some sort of package we can expect perhaps by the end of the year?
Yeah, President-elect Biden was speaking today. I listened to that talk, and he said that definitely he wants the economy to grow in a sustained manner. He's going to appoint top scientific advisors, and he's going to follow what the scientists are saying. So that's what he's saying, and he wants to. Is there's no red state and blue state? It's like one American state, well, all are Americans. That's what he's saying right now. So definitely he knows that we all need stimulus, and definitely that something has to come forward. And
Okay.
remember one more thing is the control of the House. The Democrats have lost some seats in the House, so it's not a clear majority win for the Democrats. Republicans are on the verge of getting losing the control of Senate, but that will come to know in the month of January. But definitely, it's not like a landslide victory for President-elect Biden. So definitely, he has those things in his mind. So he will come out definitely. The president, Trump, who's there right now, will there has to be more accommodation from both sides, and maybe we'll see more things coming up. And remember, every year, last few years, we know that December months they always come out with a lot of changes. So this is a very unique year. So you can't expect anything not coming. So you might see more changes coming in.
And then with Biden being the president, obviously he will come up with new tax policies next year, so we can expect a huge change in those strategies next
See,
year.
that's the thing. That's why the market is also staying, is also keeping at a stable pace because they think that uh, if you look at the Biden tax policies, it's not good for business owners because he's taking out a lot of things. Like, for example, he's taking out QBI deduction for people making more than $400,000 in business. If you have a business profit, as per QBI, you can take 20% of QBI, not subject to taxes. Again, there's qualifications, SSTB and non-SSTB and AGI limitations, but that's a big change that may happen for non-SSTB business owners. 20% of the income will not no longer be not subject to taxes. So that's one. The second one is increasing the higher tax rate from 37% to 39.6% for people making more than $400,000. And then he's also looking at tax taxing the capital gains rate, long-term capital gains rate at ordinary tax rate for people making more than $1 million. Now, will he be able to do that? We don't know yet because if there's a divided house, it's not easy to push through the tax proposals. So that's where the market is bending on. It will not be easy. If there's a blue wave, if they're able to control the Senate, then things will be much in their line what they expect. But let's see what happens. We are just keeping our fingers crossed.
So let's talk about small business owners. Obviously, this year they have gotten hurt a lot. Many of people, especially in retail industry, are pretty much closed for the entire year, right? Their revenue probably has dropped quite a lot. So, are there any specific tips, any specific actions you would like them to take this year, where they can leverage some of these losses over the next few years, perhaps?
No, the CARES Act has provided a lot of benefits for people to sustain, to keep their business running. And even if they have losses, they can use that loss to their tax advantage by using their losses carry backward for 5 years. In They can carry back to 5 years. In any of those 5 years prior to the current year, if you see if any substantial profit they have made, for example, they have made a lot of profit in 18 or 19, they can use that profit, they can use that loss to sustain that, to set off that losses, and they can get a refund. So it's not that everything is getting lost. And on top of it, care sector has provided ways to get access to the retirement account, 401ks and IRAs. They can take a distribution, uh, uh, COVID-19 distribution. If they are in hardship, they have to prove how. Of course, they have to prove their hardship there. But it's very easy if their business is suffering. They can always say, "My receipts are going down, and I'm not able to sustain." My operations, so they can take a COVID-19 distribution of $100,000 from 401k and IRA. They have to pay taxes over a period of 3 years, or they can pay taxes in one of those 3 years, whichever year they make the most profit. So it's not that everything is lost for business owners. They have to connect with their tax professionals, connect with their CPAs, find out what things they can do to sustain this period. Like you rightly said, that Pfizer has already come out with this vaccine, good results from the vaccine you developed. So maybe 2 months, 3 months from now, things might be different. We might be talking differently. So no, you just have to go through this phase of of liquidity. And once you look at the alternative options of accessing that wealth to offset to get this liquidity coming, I think you will be the winner in next year.
So another change, I don't know if you saw on news. There's a huge, I think, on a Fox News, I saw this news where they're talking about there are going to be large number of people leaving high tax states. I mean, what's your take on that? Do you think that would be happening?
Let me ask. Let me ask all of you who are listening and seeing us. Will you be living out of California to go to other state and find the same opportunity, same level of income that you're going to get, and also the same level of competition? Of course, you are living in the Bay Area. The climate-wise is so great. Uh, Finding that climate everywhere else, once you are in this Bay Area, I don't think it's very easy to sustain. Or sustain is easy, but to get that climate and also the opportunity. Of course, it's California is looking at increasing the tax rate, but it will be helpful. Whether you're going to do that, I don't know. But right now, if you look at the California tax rate, it's 13%. But if you look at other state, let's say Texas state, if you're looking at taxes, of course, there's no tax on the individual income, but then there's high property taxes and there's also higher sales tax. Uh, And the climate also is, of course, if you live in certain cities, is okay. But that's what's going to happen years from here from now. Austin, like for example, Austin is also growing city. But think about it. 3 years from now, 4 years from now, what will happen to Austin? So it's the choice one has to take. Of course, the planning do matters. Uh, if you don't have anything, like for example, you don't have kids, you don't have any like particular interest in particular state, you don't have much investment in a particular state, and looking forward to save California taxes like 5% or 6% and move to different state, because federal you cannot avoid. Only California taxes. California tax is higher by 6% to 8%. Other states also have minimum some taxes in the form of higher property tax or sales tax. So it's a question of 6 to 8%. So let's say you make $1 million, 6 to 8% is 60 to 80 thousand dollars. But then that's a big amount, of course. But then you can see that if you can, if you can get better opportunities, and you can plan your things in a better way, if you can offset that 60 to 80 thousand dollars. So planning is very critical. Uh, just moving to other state is not will not matter much. The planning will definitely help you a lot.
Yeah, Sanjay, my question was actually towards, because obviously we're seeing a growing trend for remote working. That is basically changing. There's some. This was
So
not.
So remote working is definitely the again remote working. That's a very good question. Basically, the remote working in the different states. For example, your employee uh, of California state, but living in Texas. Uh, you're living in Texas, and your employee of California employer, because of COVID scenario, you can't come to California. You're living in Texas. So remote work. You're doing remote work. Uh, Opportunities are there remotely, but how much it will be sustained, I don't know. Maybe 6 months, 1 year, once the vaccine comes out and is easily available, it will come back to the office location. Maybe not IT. I'm not talking about IT.
Yeah,
I'm
I think
talking
some sectors will remain the same, but some sectors, we already know some companies who are completely going wrong. All I was saying is there's a huge trend of people who are not comfortable with remote before are becoming extremely comfortable now. People are starting to realize, oh, work can be done this way. I think some habits will change once we get out of this.
yes, it's a part and parcel of the technology. I think we will get
Right?
used to it.
Okay, so now let's talk about what can people do in November and December? I mean, what do you recommend that people, like especially the high income earners, people who are making $400,000 or more, what should they do now to prepare themselves before the year ends?
So that's the whole reason why we are saying that we have to just wait for things to settle down, wait for things to become more clearer. Right now, we don't know what changes they are going to do. I know for sure something is going to happen. Um, as of current scenario, we have certain strategies that they can use to offset the higher income. Higher income is making more than $700,000. Less than $700,000, there's not much strategy, but more than $700,000, they can adopt. They can do some strategies in terms of uh, high aggressive tax shelters that we can use for them. Uh, but lower than that, of course, if you have low income, of course, the user stuff is maximize your 401k, do HSA contribution, distribution, not distribution, HSA contribution, and see what else you can look into uh, doing diversification, for example, opening a business. Uh, so that those are the areas where people real estate. When you look at the real estate investment, a lot of people like to buy real estate. By definition, real estate is passive. So don't look at real estate as a from the active angle, saying looking at the possibility of deducting the losses from real estate against ordinary income. That's not going to happen. What about people do ask me this question? I am trading a lot because right now they are sitting at home. They have one system for IT work or their own work, and one system is dedicated solely to stock trading. And they keep saying, I'm a day trader. I do volumes into it. Can I claim can I form an LLC and do day trading and do all the expenses? The answer is no. Day trading does not mean that your day trader, your livelihood is dependent upon trading. His livelihood is still the primary source of income is still from your W-2, not from trading. So you might be dealing in a lot of stocks, but still not a day trader because your livelihood is not dependent on it. Still will be secondary. Uh, so, so people will ask us that several times whether I can use the trading losses as losses against W2. So not that's not the right way. So again, like I said, Deepak, we have to just wait for the things to settle down. There are things we can do, uh, but hopefully will be coming more. Once the things settle down, there will be things coming out.
So those of you guys who are not clear on this point, so we do have a webinar scheduled for first week of December. So what Sanjeev ji is saying is in next few weeks, we can expect some major changes to happen. Nobody really knows because we have expected them earlier as well, and they didn't happen. But hopefully now that election is gone and that pressure is not there, the both parties can compromise and come up with a solution that can take us forward. So that's what we're hoping for. So if that stimulus package passes, let's just say during November, then we will continue to do the webinar in the first week of December. But if that get extended by a week or two, then maybe we might do it in the middle of December or towards the end of December, so we can bring all that latest information to you guys as well. As always, our webinars are free. They don't cost you anything. All you have to do is go to sanjeevcpa.com and register. It's absolutely free. But registration is required, so that way we can assign a seat to you. Sanjeev ji is available to answer your questions. So after the webinar, if you have a question or two, you're welcome to ask him right there, right then. All right. So we will talk all about this year taxes. So as you can expect, there are going to be a lot of major changes happening next year, providing Biden is the new president, which for the most part looks like he is, but you never know, right? Until we have the final answer. So we can expect, but at least for this year, I don't think that would actually happen. So we will focus more about how to save taxes this year, and we'll worry about next year the next year. All right. So in the meanwhile, if you have any questions, definitely reach out to us. Now, Sanjeev ji is available for consultation. So those of you guys who are in extremely high income brackets and you want to come up with some unique strategies to reduce your taxes, those are one-on-one conversations. So probably be a good idea to discuss those behind closed doors. And for the rest of you who are perhaps doing a lot of trading right now, selling, buying stocks, or perhaps you did some real estate transactions, or you have properties in India that you moved, or maybe perhaps you move money back and forth. So all those kind of questions, just a simple personal conversation is usually more than enough to take care of those issues and get them answered. So Sanjeev ji is available. You can come to his office, but most people are choosing to do the appointments via Zoom, as you can see. I am doing a Zoom meeting as well. By the way, Sanjeev, just a quick question. I saw somebody the other day who was saying he had a hard time hearing you on Zoom. I mean, we're doing an actual video interview using Zoom. It seems to be working out pretty good. Have you heard anybody having trouble with this kind of setup?
I've not seen, but again, Zoom has been used by so many people across the world. I think always some interference happens, which is beyond our control.
Yeah, so but for the most part, it works pretty fine. As you can see, I did this entire interview, and this is video, and I'm recording it. I got the audio going, so whole shebang, and it's working on Zoom. So I think most people are comfortable doing on via Zoom meeting. So it's
Maybe the internet speed or something, right? Do happens in between.
Yeah, so just make sure you have a good phone, and then you can always call in if you don't really need anything else. You don't need to show him anything. You can just directly call the phone number, and we can do the meetings that way as well. One of the questions that always come up during when we're talking about consultation discussions is what about people who don't live in California? We have many people who live in India, for example. Perhaps they set up a business and then went back to India. No problem. We can manage all that right here from this office. Then we also have people in India who wants to do business in the United States. As you guys know, that can be done through corporations as well. So if you have some sort of collaboration going with that way, we can definitely help you out with that. And then we talked quite a bit about remote work, so we can expect a lot of people throughout the country actually starting to work in California. So I touched on one angle that means people in California perhaps will start to move out, but I think at the same time, the competition will open up a lot more. A lot of people who did not have access to opportunities in California will have opportunities in California. So all of those people who want to do business in California or want to do something, we are obviously here to help you as well. PPP loan, for example, is another big one, right, Sanjeev? Right now, by the way, we didn't talk a little bit about that. I mean, I know last time we talked, you said people still have time. People still hold off in filing for forgiveness. Is that still the stand?
Yeah, still there's a lot of time. I think still think because PPP loan forgiveness gives you 10 months from the end of the covered period whether it's 8 weeks or 24 weeks, to not to have any payment due on those loans 10 months from the end of the covered period. After 10 months, your payments start coming in. Now, you can apply within that 10 months to for PPP loan forgiveness. Uh, SBA, the lender who gave you money, lender will take about 60 days to, when you apply, the 60 days to access, to look at your application. If any question comes up, they will talk to you and get all those things in, and they will submit to SBA. SBA will take 90 days. So it's a time of at least 6 months time period from the time you submit to the SBA. So and you don't want to be the first person in the queue, because they're still testing the system, they're still looking at the applications. Uh, it's like this: like, if you, the vaccine get released, will you be the first person in the line to take that vaccine when you
Of
don't
course
know about
not.
the side effect?
Of course
So
not.
that's the same thing. Same thing happens with the people loan forgiveness. Still, people, they're still in the working phase. They're not. They don't know what are the problem they might face. So let the system again settle down. See what the applications are going in, what they're finding out. Maybe you, if you are one of the lucky person, they will come out with automatic loan approvals up to $150,000, make it more simpler for people to file, because banks and other lenders will raise their hands up. It's too much to process. We don't know yet all those things. So my advice is, if your loan is higher, if the loan amount is more than, let's say, $1 million, of course you have to go forward and do this as soon as possible. If loan amount is less than a million, then we look at what is the loan amount. Is it 100 up to $150,000? Don't worry, wait, hold on. More than 150 to half a million dollars, yeah, maybe you can keep everything ready. Don't push the button to filing it. And half a million to $1 million, if your money that you got from the PPP is used up for paying payroll expenses 100%, and there's no reduction in the number, or you have used more money for, for paying payroll during that 8 weeks to 24 weeks, and the extra money that you used up is come out from your own contribution. For example, you got a PPP loan of 100,000, but 6 months salary is, let's say, $200,000. So you used up more. Even if there's a reduction in the number of employees, $200,000 is, let's say, a reduction in number is 20%. 200,000 times 20% is 40,000. So you have used up to $160,000, but you got a loan of only $100,000. In those cases, go ahead and file it. So there's a choice that you have to make, but it's better to contact your CPAs. And we have been doing this for most of our clients. If you are one of those person who really need help in this area, they can contact us, and we can definitely help them in their decision for applying or not applying.
So there you go, friends, and we will have a lot more of this stuff, all this kind of similar kind of discussion happening on the webinar next month. So like I said earlier, it could be either at the beginning of the month or at the end of the month, depending upon how the stimulus package conversations goes. But you can sign up for the webinar right now. Just head over to sanjeevcpa.com and just register, and we will send you a Zoom link. Once again, thank you so much for watching this video, and we're looking forward to seeing you on the webinar. Thank you, Sanjeevji, for joining us today, and I look forward to speaking to you in a week or two to get more updates from you.
Thank you.